There were 2.5 men in the forest. Something sinister lurked through the dark, musty woods. In the dream, I could see myself peering through the dense trees, watching them closely from the shadows. I didn't know what they were up to, but a deep, instinctual wrongness settled in my chest. One of the men was confined to a wheelchair. He looked to be in his mid-30s, possessing a frail, wasted frame from both his legs missing. In his lap, he carried a firearm. The taller man beside him walked with a heavy, deliberate stride. I wondered idly if the tall man had a death wish, or if I was witnessing some twisted form of capital punishment. My mind drifted aimlessly through these thoughts as I stepped carefully through the brush, my spirit suspended within the dimensions of an unfamiliar world. I kept a low profile behind a wall of thick foliage, observing them with intense interest. The tall man carried a heavy duffel bag slung awkwardly over his broad shoulder. The amputee wheeled himself over to a specific patch of dirt and pointed sharply at the ground. "Set one right here," the short man instructed, his voice cutting through the quiet woods. "These damn bears have been eating my game, and I gotta feed myself too, you know." The tall man unstrapped the bag and dropped it heavily. It hit the earth with a solid thud right next to the wheelchair. The shorter man jumped, flinching backwards. "Damn it, watch what you're doing," he barked, his face twisting in rage. "You nearly clipped my toe off." The tall man scoffed, kneeling to unzip the canvas bag. He pulled out a massive rusted bear trap from the encasement. "Not like you have any toes to feel with," he muttered underneath his breath. "What was that?" the man in the chair snapped. "Nothing, just talking to myself," the tall man lied. He deftly pried the jaws of the trap open, baiting the pan with a rancid, slimy piece of fish. He covered the mechanism gently with dead leaves, and then pushed it upright stick into the dirt to mark its location. "You idiot!" the short man yelled. "Don't do that. The bears will know it's a trap." The tall man rolled his eyes, pushing himself up and walking past the chair. "These animals don't think like us." The shorter man snorted, swinging his leg forward to kick the taller man squarely in the butt with his prosthetic foot. "Don't talk to me like that, asshole. Now shut up and help me into the jeep." The tall man sighed, muttering curses as he lifted the frail man from the chair and elevated him into the passenger seat. Just as the sun was beginning to sink below the jagged tree line, the jeep's engine roared to life. The vehicle turned, its headlights swinging directly towards my hiding spot. Two blinding beams of light cut through the dark, shimmering right through the translucent body. I stood frozen in horror, literally like a deer in the headlights. I couldn't move. I couldn't scream. The jeep slammed into me, running right through my chest, and the impact thrust me violently back into reality. I awoke in a cold sweat, gasping for air. Machinery was hooked up to my body, a steady rhythmic beep echoing from an EKG monitor. I blinked frantically, my eyes adjusting to the blinding sterile beams of light reflecting off white hospital walls. Slits of morning sun cut through the plastic window blinds. My entire body felt heavy and completely numb. I sank my head back into the stiff pillow, desperately trying to clutch at the fading threads of the dream. It was already swirling into confusion, a sharp headache forming behind my eyes as the details blurred together. I couldn't piece the timeline layout. All I remembered was stepping into the hot shower in the hotel room, and now waking up here. The dream felt terrifyingly non-existent now, like I had inadvertently stumbled into Pandora's box of an altered reality I was never supposed to see. "What could this mean?" I groaned aloud. Before the thought could settle, a heavy hospital door swung open. My mother stormed into the room, her fist twisted in a mask of pure fury. She aggressively shaking a white plastic pill bottle at me. "Thomas Kenneth Bray, What on earth has gotten into you? She shrieked, her voice echoing off the tile. First you get yourself fired from your job, now you're caught with pills. Are you trying to kill yourself? I pulled myself on my elbows, fighting a wave of intense vertigo, and cocked a defensive eyebrow at her. My mom's eyes bewildered with rage as she shook her finger inches from my face. Don't you dare give me your cocky eyebrows, mister. How can you do this to me? You're a woman, only mother. The sheer volume of her voice was agonizing, unable to handle the sensory overload. My exhausted mind rendered into relapse. The world slipped away and I drifted back into a dark, protective mini-coma. The next time I awoke, it was a gentle shake. My mind was completely vacant of the previous dream. I forced my bloodshot eyes open, expecting another round of my mother's screaming, but instead I was greeted by a soft smile. Alma! The warmth in her expression quickly dissolved into a look of heavy disappointment and dismay. She bit her lip, leaning over the bed rail, and pressed a cold kiss on my forehead. Alma! I questioned, my voice raspy and suspicious. What are you doing here? Alma gave a devious, mocking smirk. I came to see you, silly. Plus, my grandmother's on her deathbed, so I had to come see her one last time, or get taken out of the will. Anyways, are you feeling any better? Yeah, I'm fine, I muttered, closing my eyes to block out the harsh light. Just had a panic attack. Even through the darkness of my eyelids, I could practically feel her scornful expression hardening above me. Not just a panic attack, she said distinctly, her voice dropping all pretense of affection. You overdosed, Tom, on my last round of Xanax. I snapped one bloodshot eye open to glare at her. Yeah, so I'll catch you another round. And how exactly do you think you're going to do that? She sneered, leaning in closer. With what money? An entire paycheck was blown on gambling, for crying out loud. You're 1,500 in the hole. I winced at her words, cutting through my defensive armor. She was entirely right. I had a serious problem, an addiction to absolutely everything. Here I thought I was escaping my life by coming to Oregon for my aunt's wedding. In reality, I was just trying to run away from myself and the wreckage of my own problems.